This conference will now be recorded.
Right. Now, in previous session, we have seen some of the concepts of multi-threading. Now, important concept of multi-threading is synchronization. So today we are going to discuss about this synchronization. So before going to discuss about the synchronization, we have to understand what is the need of a synchronization and why we are going for synchronization. If we consider a small example, till now we have seen multi-threading programs, multiple multi-threading programs we have seen. In that cases, we have seen what while executing main thread, at the same time child thread is also going to execute. Okay, that means what happens here, simultaneously work is going to be done by both the threads. Then can we expect the output exactly? No. Okay, that means what, data inconsistency problem is there. Okay, before telling entering into the concept, I will tell you what is the disadvantage till now we are facing. Okay, now see, so I'm going to consider, for example, there is a common variable is there. For example, here one variable is there. Okay, let us consider the name of this variable is a, and the value is 5. For example, the value of a is 5. Here some thread t1 is there. Okay, and here some thread t2 is there. How many threads are there? Two threads are there. So let us consider, for example, here there is no concept of synchronization. So both are trying to access simultaneously on this A. For example, T1 came first, for example. So when T1 is coming to this 5, it wants to increment. The task of this T1 is what? For incrementing A, for example, A plus plus. In the same way, the task of this one is what? A minus minus. Okay, now you can observe clearly. So T1 at the simultaneous both came here, but T1 is modifying A. So T1 is modifying A. That means in the A, what will be there? 6 will be there. Okay, that means whenever T1 comes to this A, it modified and it has changed the 5 value as 6. Now T2 also came here and it thinks what the value of A is 5 and it is doing what? A minus minus. Now again the value, now the value is what? 6. Now again it becomes what? 5 only. But actually T2 thinks what? It want to change the 5 value into 4. But what happens here? T1 changes. When T2 changing, before changing the value of A, T1 changes the value of A here. So then what is the A value becomes? 6 A value becomes. But T2 is thinking what? A is what? 5 only. But actually it becomes what? 6. So now let us consider other case. So both are trying to change this value. T2 came first now. For example, T2 came and changes this 5 as 4, for example. So T1 also came now and thinks what? In A it is 5 is there. I want to change it to 4. But already A value is what? 4. So it will be converted into what? 5. That means what? Whatever the data we are thinking is not correct here. It is not a consistent data. It is inconsistent data. So what happens when this data will be inconsistent? Sorry, consistent. When T1 comes first, when T1 is accessing this A, for example, T1 is accessing this one, then T1 should restrict this T2 not to access this A. That means there should be some restriction so that T2 will not access this A when T1 is accessing. Otherwise, T2 should not, when T2 is accessing, T1 should not access. So in this way, we have to modify the situation so that there will be no data inconsistency. So now, what is the problem here we are having? I will show you. See here, when T1 and T2 are coming, those who are coming first to this A, they are modifying the A value. For example, T1 came first. What happens? 5 is changing to 6. Let us consider when these two are trying to change this one. If T2 comes first here, then 5 value is going to be changed to 4. That means what here? T1 and T2 are racing to modify this A value. This condition is called as race condition. Okay, so we have to avoid what? We have to avoid race condition. If there is a race condition in your system, what happens? There is a problem of data inconsistency. Okay, so now our concept is what? We have to avoid this data inconsistency problem. So to avoid this data inconsistency problem, we are going for the concept of synchronization. Okay, now let us see important points about this synchronization. Now see, synchronized, okay, already we are having many keywords are there in Java. In the same way, if you want to implement the concept of synchronization, we are having a keyword called as synchronized. There is a keyword called as what? Synchronized. So already you have understand what is the need of synchronization here. So let us consider one more example, then you can understand easily. So for example, if let us consider here we are having some one plate, otherwise one large plate, for example. Okay, here I am placing some chicken pieces. Oh, okay, let us take this one as a leaf. Oh, leaf plate. Okay, now what happens here? So this is one plate where we are having chicken leg piece, for example. Here let us take, who will eat this one? Let us take dogs. Okay, anyway, or person, anyone. Let us consider here many people or many dogs are waiting. People, let us consider people are waiting this one for this one. Okay, all people are very hungry because this is what this month is Kartika Masam, for example. This month is what? Kartika Masam. Next day is what? After Kartika Masam, everyone will eat chicken, for example. Now there is a one plate of on 10 leg pieces are there here. Okay, everybody are in very hungry to eat because 1 month they have not taken any chicken, for example. Now after this is the day after Kartika Masam, first day today. So all are eagerly waiting for this one. So all came at the same time. This person came and catched here this leaf. This person came and catched the leaf here. This person came, for example, wait 1 minute. Okay, this person came and catch here, and this person also came and catch here. This person also came and catch here that leaf. So each and everyone wants what? Chicken leg piece, where it is on that leaf. Okay, all at a time they have pulled that leaf. They have pulled that leaf. What happens? Entire each and every piece of leaf will be taken by each and everyone. What about these chicken pieces? Okay, chicken pieces will be fell in a mud. Then what happens? It is waste. Chicken will be wasted. In the same way, if multiple threads are going to access on the same object simultaneously, data will be inconsistent. That means what? The data which is there is not correct data. How here it is happened? All at a time, people came and they have pull the this particular leaf which contains this one. So leaf, what happens? It is a leaf. So the leaf will be teared, and each and every piece will go to that leaf piece will go to each and every person. What about chicken? Chicken will fell down or fall down. So what happens? It is no use of having the chicken because it is fall into the mud. If it falls into mud, anybody will eat it? No. In the same way, if multiple threads are accessing same object at the same time, that is simultaneously, then there is a problem of data inconsistency. Now, the same example I will repeat once again, where there will be no problem. Now, so here multiple people are there, they want to eat this chicken. I am going to place a restriction, form a line. Then what happens? Each and everyone will form a line. Then what I will say, at a time only one person has to enter and they have to eat it. Then first person will go and he will eat it. So okay, let us count 10 pieces. Each and every person can eat only 2 pieces, for example. So he has taken 2 pieces and he left that leaf. Next, second person will go. He will eat 2 pieces and will come back. Here, third person, fourth person, fifth person, one at a time, they will go and eat. Is there any problem of happening data inconsistency here? That means, is there any problem? Is chicken is wasted here? No. Everyone got chicken and exactly whatever they want, they have taken. Okay, that means what? I have to allow one by one. Here also same thing. I have to make a threads to execute one by one, not simultaneously. Okay, to make threads to execute one by one, I should go to the concept of synchronization. In our Java, synchronization is going to be implemented by using the keyword called as synchronized. So this is a keyword. So this S should be what? Small. But here, as is the first word, it has capital. Anyway, this is small s. Okay. So synchronized is a keyword. applicable for what? Methods and blocks, but not for classes and variables. Generally, what we can synchronize? We can synchronize only methods and blocks. We cannot synchronize classes and variables. Okay, that means what? Synchronize keyword can be applicable only for methods and blocks, but not for classes and variables. Don't worry. For everything here, what I am explaining, we are going to have the examples. Okay. If a method or block declared as synchronized, what happens? Then at a time only one thread is allowed to execute that method or a block at a given time. So a small example I will tell you, so that you can understand very clearly. So same example I will take, no problem. So I will tell you in detail. Now see, listen carefully. Now here some plate is there, for example. Here two people are there. Okay, two people are there. Listen carefully. Here some rice or chicken piece is there. For example, chicken piece is there. Multiple chicken pieces are there. So these two persons want to eat these two chicken pieces. Listen carefully. That means this is an object. For example, this plate is an object. Okay. And it is something. Okay. So there is a, if I want to do something here, that is nothing but eating. What is that? Eating. What I can do in this object? Eating. Okay, there is a eating method. Listen carefully so that you can understand remaining concept easily. So here this is an object, this is a thread, this is a thread. So two threads are there here. So whenever one thread want to execute a method called as eating, so on this object, listen carefully. If this thread want to execute a method eating on this object, then let us consider this method is what? Synchronized method. Now tell me, listen carefully, on this object at a time how many can execute this eating? Because it is synchronized, at a time only one can execute. For example, this particular thread came here to execute this eating method, so it is a synchronized. So when he is coming onto this object, he can only eat here because it is synchronized method. In the same way, for example, here after completing eating here, what happens? This method is not going to execute on this object. Now he comes here, this particular thread comes here and it's going to execute which method? Eating method on this object. Okay, now don't worry, I will take one more example also. So in the same way, here one more plate is there. Here also eating method is there. Okay, which is synchronized. Okay, and here also same food is there, like pieces are there, for example. Okay, now see how many objects are there. In your case, how many plates are there? Here one plate, here one plate. Now he went to this plate and executing eat method. And can he execute this eating method on this plate? Yes, because what? This is executing on this object, he is executing on this object. And what happens? This is synchronized, only one is executing. Here this is also synchronized, only executing one. That means what? Our concept is what? Synchronization. Whenever we are going to see the concept of synchronization, we can observe clearly and effectively when multiple threads are going to apply or access a single object, then we can see the flavor of your synchronization. Otherwise, what happens? If this one is having separate object, if this one is having separate object, can we see the concept of synchronization here? What happens in this program also? At the same time, he is producing some output. At the same time, he is producing some output. So again, what happens? Again, you are going to get same mixed output simultaneously. Different operations are going to be done here. Okay, don't worry. I will take clear example in the program also. I will explain, don't worry. So before entering into the concept, if you understand these type of examples, we can get a clear clarity about the concept. Anyway, now see, if a method or block declared as synchronized, then at a time only one thread is allowed to execute that method or block on the given object. Already we have seen that. That means what? If I am going to have one object, if I want to, in that object, if you are having a methods, if it is synchronized, only one thread can execute that synchronized method on that object. Don't worry, as is a high level word, you may not understand. Don't worry, after the 6 points we are having one better example to understand the concept. Now, the main advantage of synchronized keyword is what? To overcome in data inconsistency. Already you know what is meant by data inconsistency. What is the main disadvantage? Waiting time is going to be increased. How waiting time is going to be increased? Because what I am telling, what I am going to restrict here, where how many people or how many threads can execute a synchronized method at a time on a given object? Only one. Let us consider if there is a method called as high method or some synchronized method is there. It takes 5 seconds for execute, or 5, it may be any count, milliseconds or seconds or anything. If anybody are executing a synchronized method, for example, it takes 5 seconds. So 10 synchronized methods are, 10 threads are waiting to execute that one on only one object. Then what happens? First thread is enters into that one, 5 seconds. Second thread enters, 5 seconds. Third thread enters, 5 seconds. 10th thread enters. Totally what happens? Total time is what? 50 seconds. Because the method is synchronized. If the method is not synchronized, what happens? All at a time, 10 threads are going to enter into that method and executes at the same time. So 5 seconds is enough for all the 10 threads also. But what is the problem there? Data inconsistency. So that we are going for synchronization. So in this synchronization, what is the disadvantage? There is a concept of waiting time is there. Waiting time is going to be increased. Automatically, if waiting time is going to be increased, what happens? Performance is going to be decreased. Okay, this is the disadvantage of our synchronization. Next, so that if there is no specific use, if there is no specific use of this synchronization, better don't use this keyword. Okay. Anyway, how this synchronization concept is implemented in our Java means by using a lock concept. Don't worry, everything will be discussed with an example. Okay, lock concept. Now here we are going to see the examples. Okay, we are having some other points. Okay, anyway, 7th point is there. Every Java in, okay, anyway, directly I will show you one more example so that what is meant by this lock, everything you will understand. So see, right now I will take an example. Listen carefully. One object is there. Here one object is there, one more object is there. Okay, the name of this object is, for example, 1. The name of this object is 2, for example. Okay, so I am having 2 threads. One is T1, another one is T2, for example. So now see how many threads are there. Here I am having 2 threads. One is T1 and T2. I am having how many objects? 2 objects, 1 and 2. So these 2 objects belongs to same class. For example, the class name is A. Okay, in this I am having a synchronized method called as high. There is a method called as what? High method. Okay, this high method is what? Synchronized. Listen carefully, this is what? Synchronized method. So this let us take as small a. Okay, small a1, and this as small a2. So here 2 objects are there. So this will contain what? This high method? No problem. So this high method, it contains. In the same way, here this object also contains what? High method. So remember that this is what? Synchronized, and this also synchronized. Now the concept is what? If this thread is executing this method on A1, can this T2 can execute this method on A1? No. That is the concept. Okay, once again I'm repeating. If here A1 is what? Object. T1 and T2 are, A1 and A2 are objects. T1 and T2 are what? Threads. So whenever T1 is executing, a thread is executing a synchronized method on an object, no other thread can execute the synchronized method on the same object. That means what? If T1 is executing high method in this object A1, then at the same time T2 cannot execute the same high method on this A1. Okay, it is the concept. But what happens if T1 is executing synchronized method high on this object? T2 can execute this high method on A2 object, because these two are different object. But to see and to understand the concept of synchronization, Now I am not going to consider this A2. If I am going to consider A2, what happens? T1 will execute this one at the same time. T2 will execute this one. Again, what happens? Both are executing simultaneously. Then where we can see the concept of synchronization here? Okay, we cannot observe synchronization here. So now I'm not going to consider this object. Now I'm going to consider only one object, and I'm going to consider two threads. Now you can understand clearly. Now see, initially what I am saying, T1 want to execute this one, T2 also want to execute this one. So T1 holds this object. What is T1 doing? Holding this object. That otherwise directly I want to say that T1 is locking this object for doing what? To execute this method. So T1 locks this one and it is going to execute high method. Now at the same time T2 came here. T2 came for this A1. Is A1 is free or it is locked? It is locked. So if it is locked, can T2 can access that one? No, it cannot hold that. So T2 cannot hold because T1 is locking this one and executing this one. Okay. Now T2 has to do what? Wait. It has to wait for this object because it wants to execute some synchronized method in this one. Now, for example, T1 completes this one. So after completing the task of T1, it leaves this object. That means what? It leaves this one. Now what happens? This lock is free. Now T2 is waiting for this one. Again, it takes the lock of that and it will enter into this one and it will execute high method. Better example, general example for this synchronization is better example. That is what? Trial room. If there is only one trial room and two people are waiting for that, for example, two people are waiting. So first one person came and he entered because it is free. After entering into that room, what he will do? He will lock that. Okay. Now tell me, second person can enter into the trial room or not? No, he cannot enter. The reason is what? Already someone is there and he has locked it. Okay, right. Now, what T2 has to do? He has to wait until lock is opened or lock is released. Now, for example, the task of first person is completed. So what he will do? While coming out, he will release that lock and he will come out and he will go. In same way, now room is free or not? Yes, it is free. Now other person will enter, he will lock that room and he will use. After completing his task, he will come out and he will release the lock and he will come out. That means what? Now I will compare this example with our situation. Now here what is here? This is a trial room. So this method is nothing but dressing. So T1 came first. So he entered this trial room and locked this trial room. A1 is A1 is trial room. This is a trial room. So he has locked this one for what? For dressing. Now T2 came to this trial room. Can he enter into this room for dressing? No, because already it is locked. Okay. So T2 has to do what? Wait. Now T1, what he is doing inside the trial room? He is dressing. So dressing is completed. So what he will do? He will release this lock on A1 and he will go. Now what happens here? T2 is waiting for that. So he will do what? He will lock this trial room and he is going to implement a method called as dressing. Okay. This is the concept and this is a better example to understand your synchronization concept. Now listen this one. Every object in Java has a unique lock. So how to remember this one, sir? How many, for example, same trial room, how many locks are there for trial room? Only one. If you enter, you will lock. Okay, those who are entering, they will lock that one and they will go. In the same way, in for objects also, only unique lock is there. That means if one is holding that object, no other can hold when there is a concept of synchronization. If there is no concept of synchronization, there is no need, there is no concept of locks also. Remember that first. Okay, all right. Next, whenever we are using synchronized keyword, then only lock concept will come into picture. That means what? Whenever we are using a synchronization concept only, we will see the concept of lock. For example, if we are going to a trial room to clean the trial room, for example, two people are coming for cleaning purpose in a trial room, which is a very large room. For example, a large trial room is there. So a person want to clean that. Two persons came to clean that. Now tell me one small thing, that is there any concept of locking? Cleaning, how many can clean? Two people can clean at the same time, because cleaning is not a synchronized method, but dressing is synchronized method. Because at the time, how many people can dress in that trial room? Only one. When he is dressing, what that room has to be? It has to be locked. That means the dressing method should be synchronized, because only one has to do at a time. But cleaning method is what? It is not a synchronized. No need of synchronization, because there is no need of locking concept. So at the same time, how many people can execute? So one people come in, first one person will come inside and he will clean. At the same time, second person also will come inside that room and he will also clean. Is there any problem? There is no concept of locking. Okay. When there is a need of locking, at a time, only one has to do the task. At that time, we need a locking concept. When locking will be there, when there is a concept of synchronization. Right. See, these points are this point is very, very important. You may not understand now, but while showing this example, you understand clearly. If a thread want to execute any synchronized method on a object one, it has to get the lock of that object. Already we know that. Okay. Once a thread got the lock of that object, then it allows to execute any synchronized method on that object. If the synchronized method execution completes, then automatically thread releases lock. Now, see here. For this point, better example. Right. Here, M1 is a method. Okay. Next, I am having one more method called as M2. Listen carefully, because somewhat difficult if you are unable to understand. Again, the same points will be discussed while discussing example. But while discussing here, once if I discuss here, somewhat clarity will be there for you. Later, while I am explaining about example of the same concept, you will get clear clarity. Okay. Now see, here this is object name called as A. There is a thread called as T1. Listen carefully. Here this is synchronized method. Here this is synchronized method. And there is a thread called as T2. Listen carefully. T2 is there. Now, how many threads are there? Two threads are there. How many objects are there? One object is there. How many synchronized methods are there? M1, M2. How many non-synchronized methods are there? Only M3. This is the basic requirement to explain our example. Now see, initially T1 came, for example, listen carefully. T1 came to execute this M3 method. Is there any problem? There is no concept of locking here, because M3 is not a synchronized method. When there is a need of locking, there is a need of locking only when we are discussing about synchronized keyword. Is this method is synchronized? No. So there is no need of locking. So when this T1 is executing this M3, T2 also can execute M3, because T1 not locked this A. When there is a concept of locking, only when we are discussing about the synchronized. I am not discussing about the synchronization. So when T1 is executing M3, T2 also can execute M3. There is no problem. Okay. Right. Next one. This is the first concept. Now let us go to synchronization concept. Now listen. T1 want to execute M1. Okay. So before executing M1, it has to lock which object? This is an object. Okay. Anyway, this entire thing is an object. So it has to lock entire object. Locking concept will be applicable for whom? Only synchronized. So it will lock this one. Okay. Locked. Now let us consider T2 want to execute M1. Is it possible? No. Reason is this object is locked. That means M1, M2 are locked. I am telling careful, listen carefully. Synchronized methods only will be, whenever synchronization is there, their only lock concept will be applicable. Now this object is locked on this two only. Now can this T2 can execute this M3 or not? Yes, freely, because it is not locked. Locked concept will be applicable for whom? Only synchronized. So this M3 can be executed by T2. Now I will repeat this same point now. If a thread want to execute any synchronized method of any given object on a given object A, first it has to lock. So I have locked this object. Okay, once a thread got the lock, so now this thread got the lock of this one, then it is allowed to execute any synchronized method, because it is locked this one. So it is allowed to execute M1 or M2, no problem. Okay, on that object. If the synchronized method execution completes, now let us consider T1 completes the execution of synchronized method. So what it has to do? It has to release this lock. Then automatically thread releases the lock. Completes. So don't worry. So because whenever synchronization concept is there, then only lock concept will be occurred. Now just basics I am discussing. For everything I am having example. All right, next. Now see, same concept here we can see. While a thread executing any synchronized method, remaining threads are not allowed to execute any synchronized method. See, T2 can execute this M1 and M2? No, because those are synchronized and is locked by T1 on A. Now, but remaining threads, that is T2, are allowed to execute non-synchronized method. That is what? T2 can execute M3. No problem, simultaneously. Lock concept is implemented based on object, but not based on methods. Lock is, remember one thing, lock is applied only on objects and classes. Listen carefully, once again I'm repeating. Lock is applied only on objects and classes. But synchronized keyword is applied on what? Methods and blocks. Synchronized keyword is applied on methods and blocks. The lock is applied on objects and classes. Okay, now we have seen what object lock itself. Later we will see about class lock. So to get a clear clarity, now I will go to example. Now you will get a clarity now. Okay, listen carefully. This example is easy example, but you have to listen carefully. Right, see this one. What is the name of this one? Display. For everything I will draw a neat diagram and I will explain to you. Okay, display. In this, what is the method I am having? Wish method, which is synchronized, and one parameter is there. Listen, remember this one. Display class is there. In that wish method is there, which is synchronized. Now, and first there is one more class called as myThread, which extends thread. Remember this. From where we have to execute? From main we have to execute. So come here. So here which thread is there? Main thread is there. So it creates a object D1. Listen carefully now. It creates an object. So here I'm going to have what? An object. I'm going to draw which object now? So which object it is? D1. So D1 means which object? Display object. The name of this one is what? D1. So it is a display object. Now let us see what is meant by display object. Now see, what is meant by display object? Display object contains a method called as wish method. Display contains what? Wish method. So let us take a wish method into this A1. Here which one is there? Wish method. Okay, for example, this is wish method, which is synchronized. Here one parameter is also there. Okay, this is what? Synchronized. Remember this. So first point of your main method is completed. And now second point, T1. T1 is created. It is which type? myThread type. So myThread is doing what? myThread is extending thread. So it will get what? Thread properties. And it's passing what? Two parameters. Listen carefully. Which two parameters? One is what? D1 and Dhoni. So myThread, if myThread is going to pass two parameters, it will go to myThread class and it will search for a constructor which is having two parameters. So here we are having two parameters. So what first? Let us take first one here. Who is executing this line? Main thread. So main thread is executing this one. So D1 is passed into this D. Remember that in D what is there? So while creating which object? T1 object. While creating T1 object, listen carefully. This is T1 object. So otherwise anything, no problem. This is T1. Initially T1 contains what? D and name. So here it is what? D initially and name, for example, N. What I am passing now? D1 comma Dhoni. In D what is there? D1. In name what is there? Dhoni. So internally what I am initiating? This dot D equal to D. In D what is there now? D1. Listen carefully. In N what is there now? Dhoni is there. Okay, listen. Right. Up to here it is completed. This is the case. What happens? Now, my thread T2. That means what? Once again, one more thread is going to be created of type my thread. So in my thread, what is there here? We are having again D is there and the same way N is there. Here what I am passing? D1 and Yuvraj. Listen carefully. D1, here also D1 and Yuvraj. Let us place Y, just Y. Okay, this is the concept up to here. Now T1 dot start, T2 dot start. Listen carefully now, because now we can observe synchronization. T1 dot start. Who is executing this statement? Main. So whenever I start T1 dot start, it will go to where? T1 dot start. It will go to here and it will go to here, because after executing start, last statement is what? It is nothing but run statement. So run method is going to be invoked. Which run method? T1 belongs to home my thread. So it will go to here. And it is going to call what? Wish method by passing a name. If T1 is invoking this method, what is the name in T1? Dhoni. So whenever this thing is going to happen, what main will do? Main will execute this one. So T1 is executing this one. First T1 will go anyway. So T1 goes where? It will go to wish. In wish is there? No. So it will come to here. First T1 is coming. It will enter here. So what happens here? T1 comes. Listen carefully. T1 comes and executing wish method on which object? D. D means what? In D, what is there? D1 is there. Listen carefully. That means here T1 is going to execute. See, this D1 is nothing but this one, pointing to this one only. Okay. Here also this is nothing but this one only. Now T1 is executing wish of D1. D is nothing but D1 only. Now when T1 is executing wish method, which is synchronized on D1, can T2 can at the same time what happened? T2 will come here and it will call what? It is also calling wish method on D1. Then what happens? Already D1 is executing here by holding a object called as D1. Sorry, T1 is holding an object called as D1 and executing a wish method which is synchronized. Can T2 can hold the same object for executing wish method? It is not possible, because wish method is what? Synchronized method. So only one at a time can execute synchronized method. Now what happens? Tell me. T1 will execute this one. What in wish method? What is there? Let us see here. In that, what is there? For example, in this method, just it is going to print what? 5 times good morning, and it will sleep for 1 second. 1000 milliseconds is nothing but 1 second. Later, it's going to print name. That means what? Good morning. Name what is there? Dhoni is there. Good morning, Dhoni. Good morning, Dhoni. 5 times it will print. Okay. After that, the task of T1 is going to be completed. T1 is going to complete. So it does what? It releases this object. What happens? After completing the task of T1, it is going to release this object. Okay. Now, who is waiting for this object? T2 is waiting for D1 object on to execute which method? Wish method. Now it will enter. Now what happens? T2 will enter to execute this wish method, and it is going to print what? Good morning, Yuvraj. Good morning, Yuvraj. How many times? 5 times. Okay. So if you see this output, what happens? Output will be first Dhoni. If you are not declaring wish as okay, if it is not synchronized, for example, first let us see if it is not a synchronized. So wish is not a synchronized, then what is the case? T1 will execute wish at the same time. T2 will execute wish at the same time. What is the output then? Good morning, Dhoni. At the same time, good morning, Yuvraj. Simultaneously, the output may be in clumsy. That is what mixed. It is mixed. So we cannot expect exact correct output. Okay. So see, then both threads will execute simultaneously and we will get a irregular output. Okay. That means what? Good morning, Dhoni. Good morning, Yuvraj. Good morning, Dhoni. Good morning, Yuvraj. It may be anything, not only this one. It may print anything. But in our case, what? It is just synchronized. Then the threads will execute one by one. That is until completing first thread. Second thread will wait. Okay. In this case, we will get what? A regular output. First, what happens? Dhoni will execute because T1 hold D1 and execute this wish method. Okay. Next, what happens? So Yuvraj is going to be executed. So this is a better example to understand the concept of synchronization. Okay.